I'm Jeff Wojciechowski over here with Eddie Chambers for Ringpolska.pl. We are at James Schuler Memorial Boxing Gym in North Brooklyn Street in Philadelphia, man. This gym has a major history. Tell me your feelings on James Schuler and this Memorial Gym, and how long have you been training here?
Well, James Schuler, in his time, was a great fighter. You know what I mean? His only loss was to the great Hall of Famer, soon to be Hall of Famer if he's not already, Tommy Hearns. Can't much say more about the gym. The gym has been a great place for all fighters in the city, you know what I mean, to come to. Even those who don't even belong to the gym. You know what I mean? It's always open. It says 9 a.m. till closing, so that can be 12 midnight if possible. You know what I mean, if necessary. So, and Bus runs the gym very well. You know, it's easily accessible. It's not too expensive for young kids and even older adults who want to come in and just coming in for their first time. So it's great all around here.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, I come in here and, you know, I'm from Brooklyn. I mean, this is on Brooklyn Street in Philadelphia. And back home in New York, you know, if you go to Gleason's gym, I'm not trying to put no boxing gym down back home in New York, but you don't see the youngest like over here. I mean, I've been here for the past 2 hours, and you got these young kids, man. I mean, they're putting their heart out. You got Steve Cunningham over here. I mean, I was here, and there was 2 basketball players training in here from the Nuggets, and I don't remember the other team, but
they were here earlier?
Yeah, they were here today. You missed them both, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
the twins.
The twins, exactly. Exactly. Now, my question is like this, man. What is the difference with training with James over here, Bashir, than with your other trainers that you had in the past?
Well, the difference here is a great deal of experience on a pro level. You know what I mean? My father was a great trainer, and he could teach anyone to do this sport. I mean, I don't care how tough it may be for someone to learn. He can teach them. Rob Murray also was a very, very welcome addition as a trainer at one point. But that time has passed. He knew what he was doing. He was around a lot of great fighters and great boxing minds in his time. But with Bashir, you get a wealth of knowledge, not only just, you know what I mean, when it comes to just boxing in the ring, but outside the ring as well. Understanding certain business aspects that, you know, can help you get through, you know, difficult times, fights, opponents, sparring partners, everything. Having him makes my job so much easier.
You got 7 more weeks to go before. You got 7 more weeks before you go to train. I mean, to fight with Adamek.
No. I mean, just go ahead, finish.
Well, you got 7 more weeks to go before your main event. Have you started any sparrings, and with who?
Well, I mean, I sparred a few times. It was, you know, a couple weeks ago, you know, leading up to see how I felt, you know, coming off those injuries and everything. But I wanted to reserve a lot of the sparring and everything for when I go to my real camp, where I'm in camp now. I'm in camp mode and I'm training hard and everything. But when it comes to you know, getting to the sparring, I want to make sure it's a lockdown situation. You know what I mean, where you're focused strictly on the opponent that comes in. You know what I mean?
Well, this is your last week in Philly. Then you go to secluded area, top secret. You're not telling no one, on the down low tip, and that's how it's supposed to be. And your training is going to be going on over there, where, you know, what can I say? Well, Adamek said that he likes fighting with highly motivated fighters. How do you comment on this?
Well, you know what? That's how I am in a way. You know what I mean? I always want the best competition, even in sparring and in camp. I want to make sure I have the best competition to prepare me for what I'm facing. And I always want to have something on the line. And of course, everyone likes to have a challenge. You know what I mean? And I'm a highly motivated fighter. My back's against the wall, just like Tomas' back against the wall in a sense. You know, we've made it to the top. He's been a champion twice at 2 different weight classes. So right now it's like put up or shut up. You know what I mean? No one wants to go backwards. You know, we want to keep moving forward. And me facing him, even off of this layoff, is really just states that I want to be the best. I don't want to sit back and, you know, fight a bunch of meaningless fights that aren't going to get me where I need to get. Don't get me wrong, tune-up fights and stuff like that help you get ready are very welcome additions to, you know, to your climb. But sometimes you just got to take advantage of an opportunity that's right in front of you. And this opportunity is clearly right in front of me.
Now, what do you think about the state of the heavyweight division right now?
I think the state of the heavyweight division is fine. A lot of people don't, but it's a lot of times because you know, the boxing media is really, in a sense, putting it down in a lot of ways. Not all. You know what I mean? There's some great boxing media that puts you know, effort into you know, getting boxing in general out there. So But there are a lot of people most of the time, oh, heavyweights, there's no heavyweights, the fights aren't interesting. Well, we've had 2 heavyweight fights on the, well, I don't know, no, 3, I'm sorry, 3 that were on those 2 cards on NBC. Both of them very exciting. Extremely exciting with Brian Jennings and my man Maurice Byarm. And then you had Brian Jennings fight Sergey Liakovic on the next card that they had. Extremely exciting fights. Exactly. You know what I mean? So that's, and there's now you see this one with me and Tomas. There's plenty of fights.
June 16, don't want to cut you off, my friend. Now, June 16, the main event, you and Thomas Adamek. Now, if you win this fight, which one of these fights would you like to fight? Seth Mitchell, Tyson Fury, Robert Helenius, Mariusz Wach, Brian Jennings?
Everyone on there sounds very, very, very appetizing to me. But I don't think there's any reason for me to fight Brian Jennings. He's coming from the same city, he wants the same thing. I'd rather see him do well without having to run into someone like myself. You know what I mean? That just doesn't make any sense right as of now. Everyone else, fair game. You know what I mean? For that matter. I mean, you know what? Repeat most of those names. I heard some of them, but not all.
Now your trainer, he said a couple minutes ago where the fight has changed from 10 rounds to 12 rounds. Are you comfortable with this?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this boxing, if you're in shape to fight 10, you should be in shape to fight 12. I work hard as anybody in the game. You know what I mean? And when that's fine. And when I go into this fight, I'm going to be prepared for whatever he has to bring to the table, whether it be 10 rounds, 12 rounds, or 15. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be in tremendous condition and ready to perform.
Last question. What do you think of the pluses and minuses of Thomas Adamek?
Well, I think one of his major positives that he has going for him is he's extremely tough and determined to win. You know what I mean? He throws punches, and for a heavyweight, he has exceptional speed. You know, not necessarily to me, but to an average heavyweight. And it looks to me that he finds ways to win. You know what I mean? And he's been on the top level. He's faced the some of the top fighters pound for pound, like one being Chad Dawson. So, I mean, he's been there. So that championship pedigree and attitude, thing like that, and things like that are still there with him, which gives me more of a challenge. And all that works into my favor, and for when I win. When I win, it's going to definitely be one of those things where you can't doubt me too much anymore.
For your fans out in Poland, last words.
Oh wow, out of Poland? The few that are there, no. I just really appreciate it. Being that you're in the home of one of the best heavyweights in the world, and you're still a fan of me, that says a lot about myself, and I'm really honored to have great fans in Poland, and I'm very much appreciated.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor. Have a good one.